It's the 30th of June 2025. This is a brand new edition of Newsfirst's Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Bringing you the news tonight, I am Jayama Ratnayaka.
And I am Thiruni Karunaratna. Let's start off with tonight's top stories.
No one is above the law. Racism will not be allowed to rear its head. President reaffirms commitment to justice and equality at the 74th Higher Ordinance Ceremony of the Ramanya sect. Certain clauses in the proposed Electricity Act are unconstitutional. Supreme Court decision presented to Parliament. Senior police officers transferred. CID director appointed to Women's and Children's Bureau. Indictments filed against former Minister Lakshman Yapa and former BOI Director General. Arjun Aloysius sued for failing to pay over 1 billion rupees in VAT owed to the government. All-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange surpasses 18,000 points for the first time in history.
In our top story for tonight, President Anukumara Dissanayake says that in a society where living above the law is often seen as a value, it is the duty of this generation to restore conscience and moral responsibility. The President made these remarks while attending the 74th Higher Ordination Ceremony of the Sri Lanka Ramanya sect. The ceremony was held today in Galnava with the participation of President Dissanayake.
The event marked the higher ordination of 400 novice monks and was held under the guidance of the Most Venerable Agamaha Pandit Makulave Vimalanayaka Thero, the Mahanayaka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya at the Mahavali grounds in Galnava. The occasion was also attended by both local and international dignitaries. Honours and certificates of recognition were presented to foreign monks and lay devotees who have rendered a significant service to the Buddhist order.
භෞතික ගොඩනැගීම් රටක සංවර්ධනයේ එක කොටසක් පමණයි. රටේ සංවර්ධනයේ වැදගත්ම කොටස තමයි ඒ සමාජ.
Development of infrastructure is only one aspect of a nation's development. The most important part of a country's development is spiritual development. We have failed to differentiate between what's good and what's bad. We need to foster a society that values wealth rather than clamour to generate more wealth at any cost. Instead of a society that is greedy for power, we must create one that understands the value it holds. Do you live above or below the law? Those who live above the law are considering it a privilege. What is good and what is bad? What is advantageous to society and what is detrimental? We must reinstill the ability of distinguishing the two. This is a society where humanity has died and one's conscience has withered. We must reignite the spirit of humanity. The Mahasangha of the country must render a significant service to that cause. There's no racism among citizens. It emerged as a tool to gain power. Racism was spread in the north and south for the sake of power, fueling more racism. Innocent children became victims of racism. I have noted certain attempts to incite racial tensions. We will allow any element to operate freely and democratically, but not racism. If the laws aren't enough, we must strengthen them and take every possible step against racism.
නැවත නැවත කියන්නේ මේ නීති ප්‍රමාණවත් නැත්නම් නීති ශක්තිමත් කරලා හරි මේ රටේ ජාතිවාදය පරාද කරලා ජාතික සමගිය නිර්මාණය කරනවා.
පැවිදි වෙන අය ඊටාම අඩුයි. අද තියෙන
Not many are being ordained. In today's society, even though some choose to enter the order Sangha society, only a few continue to uphold that commitment. This shows us the level of effort our theorists put into understanding these complex issues. Recognizing the nature of the society we live in and understanding the Sangha society is also made up of individuals who come from lay society. Our theorists guide these young monks with dedication, helping to develop both the individuals and the temples while also protecting them. Therefore, it is very important that everyone present here, both lay people and ordained monks, pay close attention to protecting the Buddha Shasana.
අධිෂ්ඨානයක් ඇති කරගන්නවා නම් ඒක ඊටාම මනවි.
The Supreme Court of Sri Lanka has ruled that several clauses in the proposed Sri Lanka Electricity Amendment Bill are inconsistent with the Constitution, requiring either a special parliamentary majority or approval via a public referendum unless amended. Now, the determination delivered to Parliament and announced by Deputy Speaker Dr. Rizvi Saleh follows petitions filed under Article 121(1) of the Constitution, challenging the bill's legality.
The Honourable Speaker has received the determination of the Supreme Court in respect of the bill titled Sri Lanka Electricity Amendment, which was challenged in the Supreme Court in terms of Article 121(1) of the Constitution. In the said determination, the Supreme Court has summarized the constitutionality of the bill as follows. Clause 8(2) shall be amended suitably to provide that the members of the committee referred to therein shall be liable under the Anti-Corruption Act number 9 of 2023. Clause 13(1)(c) is violative of Article 3 of the Constitution and requires to be passed by the special majority of Parliament and be approved by the people at a referendum. However, the said violation shall cease if this clause is amended as set out in the summary of the determination of the Supreme Court. Clause 13(1)(b) is vague and arbitrary, as it does not contain any provisions relating to the transfer of employees and their right as employees during the second stage of unbundling. Therefore, the clause is violative of Article 12(1) read with Article 14(1)(g) of the Constitution, and this clause shall only be passed by the special majority required under Article 84(2). The said violation shall, however, cease if this clause is amended as set out in the summary of the determination of the Supreme Court. Clause 13(2) is in violation of Articles 12(1) and 14(1)(g) of the Constitution. The said violation shall, however, cease if this clause is amended as set out in the summary of the determination of the Supreme Court. I order that the full determination of the Supreme Court be printed in the official report of today's proceedings of the House.
Dr. Harsha De Silva of the Samagi Jana Balawega shared his thoughts on the Supreme Court's decision regarding the draft electricity bill in Parliament today.
මම කැමති ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට මන් දන්න විදියට ලෝක බැංකුවයි ආසියානු සංවර්ධන බැංකුවයි ජයිකා එකයි තුනම එකතු වෙලා.
I would like to say that for the first time in Sri Lanka, as far as I know, the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank and JICA have written to the minister together. The amendments you are going to make to the Electricity Act will create a problem in obtaining the expected investments. In this Supreme Court determination, it is said that the requirement of the Act is to obtain private investments in this sector, but such gaps have not been addressed, rather blocked. And this is what the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank and JICA are saying. Bringing out the required reforms in this sector is a policy responsibility of the government. So I suggest, Honourable Chairman, that we should think about it and see if the maximum that can be obtained next year under the updated program that you have presented is 3% economic growth. That is enough. The reason for that is that the government does not have the capacity to invest in capital. The solution, Honourable Chairman, is to join forces with the private sector, both local and foreign.
එයට තියෙන ඉඩකඩ අවහිර කරනවා නම් ගරු සභාපතිතුමිය එහෙමනම් අපිට මේ 103 ඉලක්කම ඉක්මවා යන්න හැකියාවක් තියනවාද කියන එක පිළිබඳව ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් මතුවෙනවා.
The National People's Power says that the economic policies pursued by most governments that came to power after independence led the country to bankruptcy. These remarks were made during the parliamentary debate convened to announce the government's financial strategic plans.
The primary factor that led to the most severe economic crisis the country faced after independence is the deterioration of public finance. While working to identify the true culprits who left us with a bitter past and bring them before the law, the National People's Power government has truly recognized the necessity and responsibility of taking steps to ensure such an unfortunate situation never arises again. Rulers took loans but did not turn them into productive or income-generating projects. Instead, they used them for corrupt projects or built projects without transparency, stealing a portion and without any real necessity. For example, building a convention hall in Hambantota that can accommodate 5,000 people. This is just one example. The working class of this country always paid for these projects.
What measures has this government taken to increase the people's income until today? What measures has the government taken to strengthen small and medium enterprises? On the other hand, these loans that have been taken need to be repaid. What is the plan for that? When asked to give a solution, what do they say? They say they will catch thieves. There is no problem with catching thieves, but we need to remind you that if that is done to fulfill their own political agenda, it will not be successful. If this government thinks that it can fix the economy by strengthening its economic state machinery, by taxing the money that doesn't flow among the people, without increasing the people's income, without giving money into people's hands to spend under the guise of strengthening its state machinery, then we must remind you that it is not practical. Therefore, it's not good that you are printing these books, but do these things. What you are doing today is just printing this. I don't even know if the people here understand this or if they have read this, because not a single thing that was in the budget is being implemented today.
මේවා කියවලා තියෙනවද දන්නෙත් නැහැ. මොකද අයවැය තියපු එකක්වත් අද ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අද මේ කතා කරන මහත්තුරු මීට අවුරුද්දකට පෙර මොනවද කිව්වේ නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකතුමුන්ට? විදේශ ආයෝජකයන් එන්නේ නැහැ කිව්වා. ජාත්‍යන්තර
What did these gentlemen speaking today say a year ago, Deputy Speaker? They said foreign investments wouldn't come. They said we had no international relations. These gentlemen waited for the cues to appear based on what they said in the past. Now, just a little while ago, they came, spoke for a bit and then left. What are they saying now? Now they're asking, is there no plan? Is there no plan? There are books printed now. The book is on the table. Without even looking at it, they come and read whatever they have. What kind of politics is this? When they protect the ministers who are in their own government, their uncles and granduncles, because of those things, the investors from Japan left. But what were we doing today? Within the financial discipline we established, those investors are coming today and working with us. They ask what the plan is. The games that MP's uncles played at Lanka, today the law is being enforced and action is being taken regarding them. When that happens, what happens? They say these are political interferences. That's why in the past some MPs who were in the first 2 or 3 rows here used to come and make huge noises saying enforce the law. Are thieves being punished? Are they being punished? But today there is no murmur. Therefore we need to create a financial discipline for the country. As government, we have presented a financial plan until 2026 and 2030. After this, we expect to present this every year, every June.
මේ ඉස්සරහා පේල් දෙකේ තුනේ හිටපු සමහර මන්ත්‍රීවරු ඇවිල්ලා එන ගෝරනාඩු දාමින් තිබුණා නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න කෝ හොරුන්ට දඬුවම් දෙනවා කියලා. අද කිසි කෙඳිරියක් නැහැ. ඒක නිසා මූල්‍ය විනයක් රටට හදන්න ඕනේ.
මේ ආණ්ඩුව බලයට ආවට පස්සේ රේගුවේ බහලුම් තදබදයක් ඇති වෙලා විශාල ආందోලනාත්මක සිදුවීමක් සිද්ධ වුණා. ඒක තමයි රේගුවේ තිබුණු බහලුම් 323ක් රේගුවෙන් පිට කරයි කියන චෝදනාව.
After this government came to power, the president appointed a committee to investigate the allegation that 321 containers at the customs were released from customs without being inspected, creating a major controversy. The report was submitted on the 12th of June. This report has not yet come out. It has not even been tabled in Parliament. I will be tabling this document in Parliament today. There is a category at the customs called red label containers. The committee says, according to the customs ordinance, red label containers cannot be released without physical inspection since it has not been identified as a matter of national security or state policy. This may have been done with the intention of reducing congestion, but they say that some kind of corruption has taken place in this. By releasing the relevant containers, the officials responsible for it have shirked their responsibility and an internal investigation should be conducted against the officials and necessary steps should be taken. These reports presented by the committee appointed by the president clearly show that a large act of corruption has taken place, and this is what they are trying to cover up. Perhaps the containers released were of businessmen who supported them during elections. Gotabaya Rajapaksa reduced taxes arbitrarily. That was a major factor of our revenue decreasing. If so, you too reduced state revenue through this by illegally releasing containers of businessmen loyal to you.
ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ බදු අඩු කරා. ඒක තමයි රාජ්‍ය ආදායම අඩු වෙන්න එක හේතුවක්. එහෙමනම් තමුන්නාන්සලා රාජ්‍ය ආදායම අඩු කරගත්තා. තමුන්නාන්සලට උදව් කරපු ව්‍යාපාරිකයන්ගේ කන්ටේනර්ස් ටික හොරපාරෙන් එළියට දාලා.
අද කාටවත් ඔබතුමාට කියන්න පුළුවන්ද මේ ඉන්න മന്ത്രിවරුන්ට පළාත් පාලන ආයතනවලට අපේ කාටවත් මෙයා හොරෙක් මෙයා මෙච්චර හොරගම් කරලා තියෙනවා කියන්න බෑ.
Can you point a finger at any of our MPs or even those in local councils and call them thieves? No. MP Mujibur Rahman presented the report on the container controversy. I am personally pleased he did that. Why is that? Because we still have not announced it officially. The process is still underway, but the opposition has somehow obtained it. That is good. We will enact all legal recommendations listed out in it. I have not seen the report yet, but if the report MP Mujibur tabled in Parliament is the authentic one, and if he is truthful, there is a lesson there. The government is not stopping any of the committee members. If the facts are true, those who are responsible will be punished. There is no obstruction for that. We have no allegiance with anyone. That is the kind of country this is now. We are presenting all these financial reports in Parliament today to establish that transparency. We will give you one assurance. We will hold ourselves accountable to this Parliament and to the people. We will not go beyond anything that we have said.
All share prices on the Colombo Stock Exchange crossed the 18,000 unit mark today. That is the highest value in history.
At the close of business today, the all-share price index at the Colombo Stock Exchange was at 18,026.72 points. At the same time, S&P SL20 index also closed on a high up 1.31% to reach 5,352.51 points.
For the first time in the history of the stock exchange, it's over 40 years, we reached 18,000. The all-share index went up to 18,000, first time in the history of the stock exchange. The reasons for that, what I see is, number one is the low interest regime. So people are just, without investing money in the banks, they are just coming and investing in the market. At the same time, I would say that the government income, fiscal income, that have gone up by, even by importing vehicles, they have made about almost 200 million. That's another reason. Apart from that, people have confidence in the system. There's a stable government. The second thing is, there are no waste stage. And like the government is, putting their full effort in order to revive the economy. This investment, the market investment is free of income tax. You don't have to pay a cent on your profits, right? And no capital gains involved. Right? So that's another plus point for the market to go up.
News First with the people.
Far from the city noise, under a mango tree, children turn broken desks into a stage. They sing, they dance, they try. No bright lights, no big crowds, just a small school and big dreams. Change is coming. An open-air stage for the Kattaragama Primary School. Gammatta, for the people, by the people.
By delaying these state-owned enterprises reforms, we are drifting from a take-off hope by people.
And you all couldn't join hands to solve the presidency in the country.
The presidency,
it's sad,
the national leadership was on a very specific, platform.
We didn't have a single council in our control before we went into the election. Now we have 151 already.
There was a huge argument where the government is actually curtailing the rights of the opposition leader when he wants to question. Now where is parliamentary democracy when it comes to all this?
What is the SLPP doing to make itself, more marketable to the people, or at least to rebuild trust among the people?
So I think, you need the fire. You need the fire in the belly, and you need to take this government on by the horns.
And you are saying, nothing has been proved in court. But then, not a single conviction.
No, there are many things have been proved.
I was just responding to what you said.
There are a number of politicians
I was just
of
responding
our
to what you said.
Has been put into the jail. There are number of politicians. No. I have never changed my position. I am a politician who is known in any media for not changing my position any day.
Face the Nation every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. on TV1.
We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
ඔබ වයස අවුරුදු 16ට වැඩි නම්
සුවිශේෂී නර්තන රිද්මයන්ගෙන් යුක්ත නම්
ඔබේ හැකියාව රටට පෙන්වීමට හොඳම වේදිකාවයි මේ.
ඔබ සමාජිකයන් 15 අතර කණ්ඩායමක් සමගින් අදම අයදුම් කරන්න.
Sirasa Dancing Star.
නිෂ්පාදක සිරස ඩාන්සිං ස්ටාර් තැපැල් පෙටිය 100 රත්මලාන. WhatsApp 071 799 7788.
Welcome back to the news. Sri Lanka Police Headquarters has announced a new round of officer transfers approved by the National Police Commission, affecting both senior and mid-level personnel across various divisions.
Assistant Superintendent of Police F.U. Wootler is the new police spokesperson, effective immediately, and Director of the Police Media Division. ASP Wootler takes over the role from Senior Superintendent of Police Buddhika Manatunga, who has been transferred to serve as the officer in charge of the Palannaruwa Division. SSP HWIS Muthumala, formerly Director of the Criminal Investigation Department, has been appointed Director of the Bureau for the Investigation of Abuse of Children and Women. In addition, 6 other Senior Superintendents of Police have also been transferred. Meanwhile, Deputy Inspector General of Police W.J. Padmini assumed duties today in Kalutara amidst multi-religious blessings, becoming the first female DIG in charge of a district in the history of Sri Lanka Police. She joined the Sri Lanka Police Department as a sub-inspector in 1997 and has served in peacekeeping operations in East Timor and Haiti under the United Nations, and has received training in several countries including India, Hong Kong, Hawaii and Malaysia.
SLPP General Secretary Attorney Sagala Karyavasam says there is no truth in the reports published regarding the arrest of Shiranthi Rajapaksa.
Shiranthi Rajapaksa මහත්මිය සම්බන්ධව මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්මයාගේ ඉල්ලීමක් තියෙනවා. ඒ සම්බන්ධ සමාජ ජාලවල දැන් යනවා ලොකු කාරණාවක් මේ මාත්‍යට වාර්තා කරනවා. මොකක්ද සත්‍යතාවය මොකක්ද මේ කියන්නේ?
ඒකත් අර ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණේ බලය.
We see that as part of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna strategy to survive on lies when they can't sustain the power they gain through falsehoods. Mahinda Rajapaksa is a lion. Lions never eat grass. So we know that Mahinda Rajapaksa wouldn't engage in such actions. There is no truth to that story. It is a complete fabrication, a deliberate lie planted in society.
හිතාමතා ගොතලා සමාජ මාධ්‍යවල පැල කරපු දෙයක්.
මහානායක හමුදුනේ මොකක්ද ඔබතුමා දැක්කද?
There's no officially released letter from the Mahanayaka Theras. I think it's possible that there are letters circulating on social media similar to what they did during the election season or before, like when they kidnapped the Valigama councillors. However, I state with great responsibility that this is a completely false story.
Allegations of political misuse of public funds resurfaced today as the Colombo High Court formally indicted former Minister Lakshman Yapa and former Director General of the Board of Investment.
The Colombo High Court today served indictments against Lakshman Yapa, former Minister of Investment Promotion, and Jayanta Edirasinghe, former Director General of the Board of Investment, over allegations of misusing public funds for political advertising. The charges come from an incident in November 2014 when advertisements were published in 11 newspapers on the 19th of November 2014 to mark the second term anniversary of then President Mahinda Rajapaksa, allegedly using BOI funds. The loss to the state is estimated at 1,748,887 rupees and 76 cents. The indictments were presented before High Court Judge Pradeepa Abeyaratne, and both accused were released on cash bail of 1 million rupees each. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption filed the case on the 16th May 2025 under 5 counts. The prosecution is expected to present 15 witnesses and 21 documents as evidence. The Department of Inland Revenue has filed legal action against Arjuna Lucius and Anthony Randiv Jinendra John, directors of W.M. Mendes and Company, for allegedly evading value-added tax payments amounting to 1.035 billion rupees. The case was filed before Colombo Additional Magistrate Pavitra Sanjeevani Patirana based on allegations that the accused failed to remit VAT for the 2019-2020 financial years, causing significant loss to the state. Representing the Inland Revenue Commissioner, Attorney at Law Dinesh Pereira requested the court to issue summons for the accused to appear, citing deliberate tax evasion. The magistrate accepted the request and issued summons ordering the accused to appear in court on the 13th October 2025. This is not the first time these respondents faced legal consequences over tax-related offences. In a previous case, they were convicted and sentenced to 6 months imprisonment for similar VAT violations.
Former Minister Duminda Disanayaka, currently in remand custody over the discovery of a gold-plated T-56 assault rifle at a luxury housing complex in Vellavatta, has filed a bail application before the Colombo High Court. The application was called before Colombo Chief High Court Judge Manjula Tilakaratna. High Court Judge Manjula Tilakaratna scheduled the next hearing for the 14th of July 2025 after reviewing submissions from both the prosecution and defence.
The inaugural meeting of the Matugama Pradeshia Sabha, where no political party won a clear majority, was held today. Following an open ballot, Kasun Munasinghe of the Samagi Jana Balawege was elected as the chairman of the Pradeshia Sabha.
The inaugural meeting of the Matugama Pradeshia Sabha in the Kaluthara district was held this morning, chaired by Sarangika Jayasundara, the local government commissioner for the Western Province. The Matugama Pradeshia Sabha has a total of 33 members. All Samagi Jana Balawege members arrived at the council meeting on foot from the residence of SJB parliamentarian Jagat Vithana. MP Jagat Vithana stated that the members had spent the night at his house due to fear.
If the lives of any of the 33 members here are thrown at risk, you must take responsibility for it. Some of our council members have received death threats. We need to be able to leave after this chairman is elected. All of the council members request an open ballot.
This is how it is. Two proposals have been submitted. The council needs to adopt one of them as a resolution.
The atmosphere at the meeting tensed up when a decision was to be made whether the election of the chairman would be held through an open or secret ballot. At this point, the proposal to elect the Pradeshia Sabha chairman through an open ballot was affirmed. In this ensuing open ballot, Kasun Munasinghe, representing the Samagi Jana Balawege, was elected as the new chairman of the Matugama Pradeshia Sabha, securing 19 votes. Lalit Indika from the Jatika Jana Balawege received only 13 votes.
For 2 days now, all the council members have been under house arrest. Their phones were taken away and they were subjected to various inducements. I believe what happened yesterday has never happened anywhere in the country. We stayed in one place. The police came to that house and made various accusations. I opened the doors and made a statement to the media. Were we arrested? They couldn't enter the main house. We came on foot to show people that we wouldn't be swayed. Our Matugama team as council members who cannot be bought by money, perks or privileges showed that today. None of our council members were swayed by perks or privileges. We have a significant task ahead for Matugama.
දේශපාලනයේ මතවාද මතභේද මත විමසුම් සහ මත ගැටුම්
ජනාධිපති අරමුදලේ සල්ලි අරගත්තු වට්ටියනේ විරුද්ධ පක්ෂයේ മന്ത്രിවරු ෂෝ එකක් දාන්නවත් මාධ්‍ය සංදර්ශනයක්වත් නෙමෙයි කතා කරන්නේ ගරු මන්ත්‍රීතුමා කියන්නේ මට දුන්නේ මයික් ගරු අමාත්‍යතුමා ගරු අසන්ත සර් මෙයාට පිස්සු කේලම් කියන එක මම නැවතුවා උතුරේ ලුණු දකුණේ ලුණු කියලා ලුණු නෑ බොස් හරිද රටේ ලුණු තියෙන්නේ
ලාංකේය දේශපාලනයේ පෙරලිකාර අදහස් සමගින්
ආණ්ඩුවට විරුද්ධව 50%ට වැඩි තියෙන හැමතැනකම අපි විපක්ෂය ප්‍රාදේශීය සභාවල බලය පිහිටුවා. අපි ටර්න් එකක් ගැහුවේ මහා මැතිවරණයේදී.
දැන් අපි මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ නෑ අපි මේ පොඩි මිනිස්සු කියලා කියමුකෝ. මාලිමාවේ ඕනිම අයියා කෙනෙක්. කිච්චි බච්චි බිත්ති බුට්ටි ඕනි කෙනෙක් එක්ක එන්න.
නරියා මිදිවැලේ කියන මිදි කන්න පැනලා කිව්වලු අල්ල ගන්න බැරි වෙලා කිව්වලු ඇඹුල් කියලා.
දිනෙන් දින උණුසුම් වන දේශපාලනයේ අවසන් කැපුම. Final cut unedited. සතේ දිනවල රාත්‍රී 7:00ට PV1 ඔස්සේ.
Send us your application with your name, your unique talent, your phone number. To Sri Lanka's Got Talent PO Box 100 Ratmalana or WhatsApp us on 076 599 7788.
Welcome back to the news. The World Bank has appointed Johanna Zut as the new Vice President for the South Asia region, effective 1st of July 2025, succeeding Martin Reiser.
The new Vice President for the South Asia region of the World Bank, Johanna Zut, will oversee the engagement with Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal and Sri Lanka, managing a regional portfolio valued at $39 billion, which includes development projects, technical assistance and financial resources. Zut, a Dutch national, brings over 2 decades of experience at the World Bank, having served in various leadership roles. Most recently, he was the country director for Brazil and previously held positions as Director for Strategy, Results, Risk and Learning in the Operational Policy and Country Services Vice Presidency. He has also served as Country Director for Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal and several African and European nations. He will be based in New Delhi, India, which will serve as the new regional hub for South Asia, aligning with the World Bank's decentralization strategy to enhance service delivery and client engagement.
An art talk on art collecting, organized by the Artra magazine, was held in Colombo yesterday.
Artra magazine hosted an art talk on art collecting yesterday in Colombo.
This session was all about art collecting. Collectors play a very important role in supporting the art ecosystem. So our conversation with both Nilu and Tinushka, who are from the financial background and also collectors of Sri Lankan modern and contemporary art, we were exploring the ways through which the journey of a collector undergoes alongside the alternative forms that the Sri Lankan art scene is now presented with.
The art talk was held in conjunction with the art exhibition, which showcased the work of 7 emerging artists.
The SLASCOM National Ingenuity Awards 2025 is set to take place in Colombo tomorrow.
As SLASCOM celebrates innovation, creativity and excellence in Sri Lanka's tech ecosystem, the SLASCOM National Ingenuity Awards 2025 is set to take place tomorrow. This prestigious event is set to be a landmark occasion celebrating the extraordinary innovation, creativity and excellence that defines Sri Lanka's rapidly evolving tech ecosystem. SLASCOM National Ingenuity Awards 2025 will take place at the Grand Marquee Taj Samudra, Colombo from 4 p.m. onwards. SLASCOM works to boost trade, employment, education, research, innovation and talent retention in order to be a relevant and useful partner to all its 400 plus member companies and 60,000 plus employees.
US President Donald Trump has revealed that TikTok already has a buyer in the United States. Trump revealed that a very wealthy group is behind this TikTok sale, but refrained from naming who exactly is set to purchase the currently Chinese-owned platform and lead its US operations. Fox News shared a recent interview with President Trump, and here the American leader revealed that a very wealthy group is now poised to be the next owner of TikTok and is committed to buying the platform.
The US president has been on top of TikTok's sale since the start of his term earlier this January, and he has since been hands-on with finding a potential partner. Trump also revealed that he would still need time to talk to China's President Xi Jinping for his approval on the deal. This statement only reveals that the deal has been set with the United States side only, but not yet on ByteDance and China's end. With that said, Trump believes that the Chinese president would possibly greenlight the sale. When asked about who these potential buyers are, President Trump only said that they are a group of very wealthy people and avoided naming who.
We have a buyer for TikTok, by the way. I think I'll need probably China approval. I think President Xi will probably do it.
Who's buying?
I'll tell you in about 2 weeks.
A big technology company there.
Very, very wealthy people. It's a group of very wealthy people.
ByteDance and TikTok are known for being headstrong against the sale of the Chinese social media platform to a United States buyer or company for many years, and they have opposed the country and its laws in recent times. This led to TikTok's ban earlier this year after failing to adhere to the foreign adversary law, but only lasted for several hours, thanks to the then president-elect. To date, there have already been 3 extensions given by President Trump to TikTok, with the first one happening in January, which effectively extended their search for their new owners until April. However, while the US was still negotiating with China and ByteDance on who gets to buy TikTok, the extension elapsed, but the company was given more time until the 19th June, which also already expired. Earlier this month, TikTok was given its 3rd extension by the Trump administration to find their buyer, with the company given another 75 days to finalize a deal. Now, a sale is closer to reality than before.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for joining us.
Good night.